Pam Bondi. She spent 16 months fighting an elderly couple for their dog. What is with these people and dogs? They say people are eating them. Kristi Noem is shooting them. Like, what is it with dogs? This happened before she was Attorney General. She was a prosecutor, I gather, at this point in Tampa. After Hurricane Katrina, obviously a lot of animals get displaced as people are evacuated. Sometimes heartbreaking and difficult to find them. Obviously, sometimes their owners are lost. In this instance, obviously, you can't put them in animal shelters in the place where the disaster was because they're overburdened and potentially underwater. The number of animals from the path of Katrina were moved to a shelter in Tampa. At that shelter, Pam Bondi adopted one to foster. The shelter said, well, we don't know if their owners are alive or anything like that. So, we aren't going to formalize this yet. We'll give a few weeks. At the end of those few weeks, they let her adopt the dog formally, at which point the displaced couple and their 2 grandkids found where their dogs were across state lines after extensive searching while they were still trying to dig themselves out of a disaster, and said, oh, no, here we are. We didn't abandon our dogs. We literally had a horrible bureaucratic time finding them, but we're ready to take them back.
Sure,
they had a couple of
sad
dogs.
Maybe for Pam Bondi, but, the whole tragedy was sad and terrible. So this seems like, a thing that happens.
So there were a couple of dogs that they had that different people had taken. They got one of them back quickly, and Bondi decided to engage in litigation for 16 months over it to try and prevent them from getting the dog back. This case settled ultimately before trial. The formal settlement was that she would agree to provide medicine and food for the dog, pay for that for the rest of its life. In exchange, there were some visitation and pictures and stuff like that exchanged. Theoretically, is all's well that ends well after 16 months of torturing somebody. Yeah. But don't worry, we can fast forward. So 3 years later, as she was preparing to run for Attorney General, the Tampa Bay newspaper decided, hey, remember that story? We should dig that up again. And found the couple and learned that she's just kind of bailed on that settlement agreement.
Well, that's not great for somebody who enforces the law,
it seems
generally.
Like respecting, voluntary settlement agreements, it would be one of those things, part of the job.
Things, yeah.